Good evening, everybody, and welcome back. Sammy here at Sammy J Stitches, and it is time for a new Flosstube. I am late, but not as late as I was expecting to be this weekend because, as I mentioned last week, I was supposed to be out of town, and we will get to that in just a minute. Thank you all for coming to visit with me. This is a YouTube channel about cross stitch, which I will be talking about shortly, and then we'll get into my week. Yeah. Okay. So I forgot to film this at home yesterday. I figured we'll get it done tonight. So I have the setting sun right in my face. We'll just have to do with what we have to do with and make it as quick as possible before I lose all light. Okay. I do have some numbers for you. I know it's been a minute. My brain's been everywhere, but I sat down and played with my planner yesterday for a good little bit and got us some information. Okay, so August. In August, y'all, these numbers, for some people, these numbers probably sound amazing. For me, they are still pitiful. I'm missing like May and June when I was in the, 20 or 15,000, 16,000 area. It is better than last month. You can tell I'm starting to get a feel for my routine and things like that. And actually it's better than 3 months of this year, so that's good too. My total stitches for August were 8,642. This makes an average, if you average out the 31 days, is 279 stitches a day. However, I did not stitch any at all on 3 days last month. So if you average out the 28 days I did stitch, that's 308 stitches. I did not have any finishes in August. So those are those numbers. Not bad, not great, and I'm perfectly okay with that. And I'm happy to get to share that with y'all. Okay. I worked on, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8. Maybe I didn't have all of them written down. 16, 17, 18 projects in August, so that was pretty good. Out of, 57 I think I have? Yeah, 57. I started out the year with 59. I had 2 finishes prior to these numbers. Okay, so I currently have 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. 25 out of my 57 projects have got their 1,000 stitches for the year. So that's pretty good. Several of them are close, and a few of them are really far away. So my goal is, out of the 59, that I started the year with, I wanted each one of those to get 1,000 stitches, and we are at 25. So not quite halfway there, but we're getting there rapidly. Now that I've got that focus going, as of fairly recently, we are going to knock that out of the park. I just know it. Okay, so September. What did I work on this week? At the beginning of the week, I worked on Anzac. I told y'all that I really wanted to focus on Anzac so that I could finish it this weekend while I was out of town with my family. And that's exactly what I did. I focused on it to where I left, I don't know, maybe like 300 stitches to do this weekend while I was out of town. Then we didn't go out of town. Again, more on that later. But I did get it finished, so we will look at that last. So I did have it finished this week. Yay. The next thing I worked on for Crystal Academy is, you can see the sun's really going down. It's reflecting in my glasses. Crystal Academy, my focus piece this week was Lady of the Flag, which was kind of great because, you know, the end of the week was September 11th. So to get some good progress on her this week made me feel really good. And I got over 900 stitches in on it. So here's where we're at. We're just filling in dress and heading on down. You can see all the blank spaces where the beads are gonna go. It's beautiful. I think I'm feeling the need to move the Q-snap soon. I know I still have plenty of room here, but I'm in the middle. Like, I can't finish this piece because I'm too far this way, and I can't finish the flag because I'm too far this way. So I think I'm going to have to pick a way and move it. I also thought about trying to find the bottom, even if it's just one row like this. And so I need to move it up so that I can see how close to the bottom we get. I do have fabric folded in here, but I want to see how much room we're going to have at the bottom. That was inspired by my friend Sarah at the Stitching Kingdom, because that's what she had to do on hers. So sun's completely down now. Look, see how fast that happens? You can like watch it set in my glasses. Yeah. So this is where we are at. It's making very good progress. I'm so excited about it. So I got 2 zombie runs done on her. Finished my Crystal Academy. So we may not see her, and I worked on her a little bit on September 11th for Remember 9/11 Sal. Remembering 9/11 Sal. It's a hashtag from Vicky at Stitch and Button. She made the bag. It says never forget, September 2001. And it's got this beautiful skyline vinyl on there. She's wearing this out. She started a new project from Stitching Jewels. I think it's called Twin Towers. I'm not positive on that. But it's skyline and very similar to this. So she got some good progress in on it yesterday. Okay. So the next thing I did is I wanted to go back to, last week we had started Lovely Home but we had worked on Lovely Home from Little House Needleworks. It needed 803 stitches to hit my 1,000 for the month, or for the year. And, I had gotten like 397 of those stitches. So I needed to go back and work on it a little bit more to hit that 1,000. So that's what I did, and I got it accomplished. And here is where we are at now. So, and this looks like this. It'll say love makes a house a home. I've really just got a couple words left. I got to finish up makes, put in love, and then it's like top and bottom border. What I was doing was okay, one strand down here and then one strand on words. Once I got all this done to the point that I was doing that, but so it's kind of going back and forth, up and down and up and down. So it's really pretty. This is on 40 count Apollo from Under the Sea Fabrics, 40 count linen. Not my favorite, obviously, but you know, not bad. I love her yellows. I really prefer 40 count Verdal, which is an even weave, and I ordered some this week, so I'm excited. Okay, so we're actually going to remove this one from the Q-snap, free the Q-snap for another project for another project at home. So what I've started doing is I almost have enough Q-snaps, I think, to, we have moths trying to hang out with us in the truck. No, freedom. So what I do is I'll go through and I'll put 3 or 4, I don't remember how many Q-snaps I have now, of my next projects that I'm going to work on, go ahead and put them on the Q-snap, stick them in this bin so I can grab them fairly quickly, sitting next to them on the couch or before I have to leave for work. And then I try and leave them on here until I can show them to you for the most part, if I don't forget. So I'm trying to get more organized so that things move faster and things aren't forgotten. So then after I show them to you, I can put them back in their respective, because someday I'll have enough Q-snaps for all of them to stay in the nice big bags, but for now they go into these. Where's the cover? like this. So I started the little, oh my goodness, like 5 years ago. Why are you not zipping? When I first started doing multiple projects, because at the time I only had like 5 projects, putting them in these and putting them in a binder and taking it as a binder that could zip closed. And I was taking that to and from work. And now there's no way I could have it all in binders. So, okay, next we worked on Anzac again and finished it. Not fully finished, but we finished Anzac on Friday, September 10th, 2021. So then after I had worked on Lady of the Flag, Lovely Home, I worked on the evening of September 12th or 10th and finished it up on September 11th. Worked on Lady of the Flag for a little bit, and then, and I know we discussed this last week, that one of the few pieces I had left that hadn't gotten touched during the Fabulous 50, but I was kind of slow to bring out because I knew I needed 800 stitches in it, is Once Upon a Fairy Tale from Heaven and Earth Designs by Amy Stewart. And so I was like, okay, we're going to do this. We're going to go ahead and pull it out and we're going to start on it. I knew I wouldn't get the whole 800 stitches in one day. I knew that, and I won't work on it here in the truck. It's too much confetti, too much floss, too much, so I worked on it as much as I could last night, and then we will work on it again on Wednesday, which is my next day off. But let me tell y'all, I was pretty pleased with my progress. The first couple blocks felt like they took forever, and then it was like I found my groove. And I was in a very weird mindset yesterday. I felt like I want to do this, but I can't seem to get started on it, and just like I had to do certain things before I could get to where I could stitch, and it was extending my day. It was a mess, but we got through it. So here is Once Upon a Fairy Tale. This is by Amy Stewart. It's charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. I love these little guys. Although I think I have to tell you, if this were something I was doing, I would do it the opposite. So she has like a little button on the top, little magnet on the bottom, but I think I would have had the button on this side and the magnet on this side, because trying to flip this open and closed is pretty difficult in the direction that it's going. So I think I would have done that differently, but I love it. It's cute. It's holding all the threads for the next page. So like these threads I'm going to work on soon. So I kept them out. These are all the threads for the next page, and we gather up the entire page, so it just kind of keeps them out of the way. The problem with putting these in it is then I get done with the block and I have to completely unwind it, completely rewind it. So I can't decide if I want to get another one of these and do that, or just let these ones hang. And then these are ones that are going to move down here, like anyway. So this is how it's working out right now. These are tucked behind this needle minder. This one, I've been like, I kind of gather it up with my fingers like this and just kind of tuck it behind here, except for the ones that I'm currently working on that are usually hanging. But I hadn't quite finished this block, and it's all the part threads are done. Now I'm having to add in threads. So look at that little owl. Is he not too cute? Now I have to tell you, he almost made me UFO this project. And here's why. Because looks great from right here, right? This thing looks amazing. I'm a little concerned about this yellow stitch that seems out of place, but it looks really good. And you can't tell that when you get really close up. Where's my camera? Do you see like there's purple in his wing, and there's like this dark purple here, like some of the color, the way that it does the colors, when I'm up close, I'm like, that just looks so messy. It looks not good. But then you hold it back. I literally had to do this. So I was sitting there, I was just about to get stitching. I was looking at the owl from right here and going, I could tell it's an owl. It has enough details, but I'm not feeling good about the way the piece looks. And I'm starting to stress out about it. And I'm starting to think maybe we're not too far into it. Maybe I should just UFO it and call it good and be down to 56 whips. And then, but I couldn't decide. So I had to go do something, and I think I went and switched the laundry. I did a couple dishes. As I was walking back towards it, instead of sitting down before I looked at it from across the living room. And I was standing there staring at it. My husband was kind of sitting in between where I was standing and what I was staring at. And he's like, "Are you okay?" I said, "Yeah, I'm just trying to decide if I want to UFO that project." And I think I just decided I don't. Because staring at it from across the room, this owl looks amazing. It looks detailed enough. It looks the right colors. It doesn't look like it's purple. So I decided I do like it. And I think this is something that people need to understand, is these projects were not made for inspection. They weren't made for you to be this close up to them all the time. You have to step back and look at the bigger picture, and then it just comes together. Again, except for maybe this one stitch that I'm going to have to go back and double check, because it's, even from here, it's throwing me off. But, I got 500 stitches into this. So we just have 300 stitches left. It'll be done for the year. So this first page is 8,000 stitches, roughly. The typical page ends 2 rows before the end of this block, but since I'm using Pattern Keeper, I'm just finishing out the block. So 8,000 stitches overall. I'm about 60 something, 6,200, something like that into it. So I do think I'm going to continue on with this. Unlike, I did start Fantasy Bookshelf. I think that's what it's called. Maybe. Anyway, I bought the mini, and it was one of my first haids. So, you know, I can totally write that off to inexperience, but, I bought it. I was 2 pages into it, I believe, or 1.5 or something. I think I was starting the 3rd page, and I got to an owl that I couldn't tell was an owl. It just looked like a blob. From far away, from close up, it did not matter. It was a blob. And I said, I am not spending years of my life working on this to not understand what I am looking at. So when I bought this piece, I bought the regular. She should not sell. This is my opinion. Take it for what it's worth. Heaven and Earth Designs should not sell Amy Stewart Designs in minis. She has too much detail, too much small details, and you lose them on the mini. And people, I could see people like myself not realizing that until they've put too much time and effort into it, and then it's just heart-wrenching. So I did UFO it. It was the 3rd time I had started that project. I was not starting it again. I'm not going to do that anymore. This one filled up my heart enough to not need to do that one, although the colors in it are amazing. I saw somebody posted recently their progress on the regular, and it's amazing, but I'm not doing 2 of them. So I have enough haids going on. So that's where I am on my Heaven and Earth design. And it came with a long story. Okay, so that is all I worked on this week. Are y'all ready for my finish? Before I lose all my sunlight and you just can't see its amazingness. So it's already off the Q-snap. I had to go and do some back stitching and stuff like that. Where'd it go? It's in here. This is Anzac from Long Dog Sampler. I did the colorway myself. It is charted to be one color. And I am absolutely enamored with it. It is on 32 count Jobelin, or 32 count Lugana in Reflection from Mystic Fabrics. And it is complete. Complete. I will say the initials JL are down there. Those are the initials of Jacob. I think his name's Jacob that does this. I didn't think of changing them out because of the way I was stitching the bands. I didn't really know what I was stitching on until, it was pretty well stitched. So I didn't realize till I had stitched it that it was there, and I was like, it's fine. I'm just going to leave it. I did change the year to 2021 because that one was a little obvious. I was able to, and it was all in one color. So here it is, all done. What I did was I put this pattern into Pattern Keeper. It has a diagonal function where it will mark off either 20 or 10 stitch diagonals. And I labeled each one of those with a different color. I did do a mix of both. So most of the stripes, I'm going to show you just the top so you can see. Most of the stripes are 20 stitches wide. So, and it started from this end. So 20, 20, 10, 10, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, 10, 10, 20, 20, 20. The reason I did that is because I felt like so let me see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14 colors in there. When I counted the diagonals and I needed 12 colors, it felt too abrupt. It didn't blend quite like these have. I can say that it does feel like there's way more purple in here than any other color, but it is my favorite, so So I ended up picking 14 colors, and so 2 of them I split to only have 10 each, just to kind of transition. I will also tell you that, so in this top one, it's this orange and this yellow orange that split that are 10 and 10. You can tell if you look right here. 10, 10, 20. Yeah. In the bottom, I did it correctly. And it's actually the yellow and the yellow orange that are supposed to split the 20 into 2 10s. But it looks fine either way. I love it. I love it. So we've got 816, 666, 608, 742, I think. No, 740. I don't remember. Hold on. I didn't bring it with me. I'm going to have to look it up. This is another 700. That's a yellow. Got 704. Got 700. 820. I believe this is 527, maybe. I don't remember this one. This one's 554. This one's 552, 550, and 718. So, yeah, that's how we did. Oh, and what I did was, okay, so you go through all the colors, you get to pink, and then you go through all the colors again. So it's almost, I thought of it like a hill. You go up, hit the top, and then back down. So that's why it looks like that. So I absolutely love it. I think it came out wonderful. And I'm glad to be finished with it. So, is it perfect? No, there are mistakes in there. My biggest concern with doing the diagonals was I was going to mess up something huge and just really not be able to go back to it. But all my flubs were small enough that it didn't mess with it that much. Okay, so, and for tonight, okay, so the other thing is, I told y'all when I didn't finish 50 and Fabulous, that I was going to, whichever ones didn't get touched during 50 and Fabulous would be next on my list before I went back to ones I had touched. This is true for the most part. However, I have one more that wasn't touched during that set that still needs to be worked on, but I cannot work on it in my truck. It is on 40 count. 30, no, it's on like 30 count. 32. It's on something that's fairly small. It's a very dark fabric. And so it's hard to see, and the lighting in my truck is not great. It's also a linen, which means I constantly make errors when trying to get my needle through the fabric. I just didn't want to put that on myself and risk totally messing it up while at work. So I will work on that one this week at home. So the one I pulled for tonight to work on here at work is mirror mask from, that's what I called it. It's got a different name. This was from a Mirror Retreat. It was a freebie. It's going to look like that. That's upside down. But it's going to look like that when it's done. And you can see it has blocks of color. So I figured it would be easiest to work on in the truck. And it needs 495 stitches to be at its 1,000. So probably 2 nights worth of working on that to get it finished. So that's what I'm going to work on tonight. But I wanted, and I don't normally necessarily tell you what I'm going to be working on for the night, but considering my plan was to touch all my projects before starting over, and that has not actually been accomplished, I want to explain why. Of course, when I made that plan, I wasn't working in a truck. So there's that. Yeah. I need to pick, so Anzac was a zombie run piece. I need to pick a new zombie run piece. I'm really thinking it's probably going to be Shores of Hawker Hollow, because that is a memorial piece for somebody I care about. And even though they don't expect it anytime soon, they don't know about it, period. But because I am making it for somebody, I would like to get it complete. So it might be, I also thought about trying to pick something, oh, there's another moth. Try and pick something that was closer to being finished so that I could possibly finish it and move something else into its place. But we're getting close to finish that stitch December, and I can just pretty much save all that for then, is the plan. So that is that. All right, so if you're new here, welcome. I hope you saw some sort of whip that you enjoyed, and that will make you come back and visit me again. If you're returning, thank you for coming back week after week. This next part is life update. It is personal, and it is not everybody's cup of tea. So if you choose to leave now, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. So here's how my week went. Sunday and Monday, when I was at work, it was fairly calm nights. I worked quite a bit, but I did get some stitching in, and it was all good. Tuesday, in fact, I think I got quite a bit of stitching on Monday night. I'm not sure why. But anyway, Tuesday, I had a hectic week at work and didn't, it was one of those nights where stuff was going on and it took all my focus. Wednesday, I was supposed to be preparing to go out of town. So I did my live on Wednesday night. It was on Twitch. I got great response. I know at one point I had up to 11 people watching at the same time. The ones that were there were talking with me, and I felt like it was very good conversation. It kept me, I was stitching on Lady of the Flag, and it was an area where I could really get some stitching done and talk. I know there are some things I'm going to have to fix going into the future there's only so much I could do about my lag, but I want to get a better camera, a better setup to where you can see a little more clearly. But it was still something, and I felt like it went rather well. I believe my next one will probably tentatively be September 25th. I hope people can join me. If you haven't checked out Twitch, it is, it's all about live streaming. And there's a few stitchers over there, and it's interactive and fun. I'm rather enjoying it. So I did that Wednesday night. I was supposed to be continuing to get stuff packed and ready for the weekend, but I was being very lazy. And so we were supposed to go out Thursday and be gone all day getting stuff ready for the trip and that sort of thing. And I messaged my husband. I was like, we could probably do some of that stuff on Friday morning. Because we were going to have to make a stop on the way there anyway that would allow for getting everything done. So we had planned on a lazy day Thursday. Wednesday night, my sister, or my nephews came home with fever. Now, they live right next door. And so my kid plays with their kid a lot. Now, they didn't play together that day because they were sick. But she goes, I'm going to take them. I think they might have strep. And so I'm getting distracted because people are messaging me after I told them I'm going to be doing a Flosstube. She said, I think they have strep. I'm going to take them to get tested in the morning. I said, okay. So then Thursday afternoon, when we're waking up, I get the text, or my sister calls instead of text, and she said, the boys tested positive for strep and COVID. Okay. So, I was like, well, they're not going to the river. They have to quarantine for 10 days. And that same afternoon, I had gotten a call from the school nurse that Ryan had a cough. Now, I had noticed the cough the day before, but, I mean, it could be allergies, it could be postnasal drainage. It was not alarming to me. When I got the call that my nephews had COVID, it became a little more alarming. So I am really running out of light, y'all. Oh my goodness. So I pulled Ryan out of school on Thursday and I took him to get a COVID test and it came back positive. So there went our entire weekend. I called my parents and I told them we wouldn't be going to the cabin. I could not get a refund for the cabin. They're all healthy, so they went ahead and went. I hope they massively enjoyed themselves. I am really bummed because I've been looking to we booked this vacation 6 months ago. We paid a pretty penny in money. It was a cabin that I have dreamed of renting for, since I was about 16 years old. So we're talking like 16 years. I've loved this cabin and wanted to stay there. I wanted to show my family how it is that I go to the river every year, and, the food and the camaraderie, and I was just looking forward to all of it. And for it to slip through our fingers the day before just shattered me. But our family's health, their health, it was more important. Ryan is doing really well. He started to try and pitch a fever Friday night, but it only got up to like 99.4, so nothing major. And then it went right back down. He's been pretty lethargic yesterday. Took a couple naps. Mostly it's just been this cough. And even that, it's like he doesn't cough all night long. He only coughs some during the day. That sort of thing. So he's doing well. We are sanitizing like crazy. I spray disinfectant everywhere. I wipe things down with Lysol after he touches them. I've been washing his bedding every night, or every morning after he slept in it, so that, and changing it out. So I'll give him a new blanket and then wash that blanket. I have plenty to not have to wash the same thing every day, but, I'm not letting him sleep in bedding where yesterday he may have had COVID and today he may not, but he could give it some, I don't know. I'm just taking all the extra precautions. We started them on the vitamins. We're in a 10-day quarantine. Now, we called our boss and we told him we are not positive for COVID. Our son is positive for COVID. What's the protocol? And because we are mandatory workers, and I know that may seem weird for my job, but we are, because we're mandatory workers, our company policy is as long as you are not experiencing symptoms, you can come to work. Now, I could always say, no, I don't want to go to work, but I also have to pay my bills. So, Casey and I are still working. We did request to our boss that we do not work the same day, which usually, like, I work Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Casey works Sunday, Monday, Friday, Saturday. So we both work Sunday and Monday. Sunday night, they stay with my in-laws, and Monday night they stay with my sister. So it's not a big deal usually that we both work. However, I do not want my kids to see my in-laws until we're out of quarantine. And if something were to happen health-wise to Ryan, we would want to be there. One of us to be there to do whatever we need to do. So, right, for these 3 days, my husband is home with them. And then for the next 4 days, I'm home with them. And until we get through it. And we're supposed to come out of quarantine the day before my daughter's 14th birthday. So, there's that. So yeah, that is why my plans got messed up. That is why I'm at work tonight. Because when we called our boss, he hadn't made this week's schedule, so he was able to just throw me back into my normal days, adjust Casey's days only slightly, and it just worked out the best that way. So I think that pretty much catches us up. So Thursday we found out he had COVID. We just kind of relaxed as a family and we watched a movie together. We ate a bunch of junk food because we were consoling ourselves. My son is very upset that we missed out on the river, and he feels like it's his fault. It's not. Schools are cesspools. I mean, straight up cesspools. They are any day prior to COVID. Like, you know, kids come home with strep, they come home with lice, they come home with snotty little fingers. Like, it's always been a cesspool. But then when you add in something that transmits like COVID does, it's the risk you're taking, and it kind of really irritates me, but it is what it is. So, yeah. We did find out that the governor has issued funding for virtual schooling. I don't know if my school is going to take part in that. I really hope they do, so that we have that option to keep the kids home. My son does not want to go back to school. This has terrified him. My daughter still wants to go back to school, so there's that. We don't know what we're going to do just yet. So, yeah. Friday, I gamed with Sarah like I usually do on Friday nights, her and her husband, and they helped me to unlock a collection to try and get a new mount, and then we were trying to help Sarah with a new mount. They're these little animals you ride on during the game. So that was a lot of fun. I always enjoy spending a little bit of time with them on Friday nights. And then last night I should have done a Flosstube, and I didn't, but that's okay. Like I said, I was out of it yesterday. So here we are to today. So that's an update on my week, my personal life, my kids, my stitching. Yeah. So I don't know. We'll have to see how this next week turns out, but we're going to continue with the same routine that we have been, and it really seems to be working for us. It has gotten really dark out. You can still see the sunset, but yeah. Okay, so thank you all so much for joining me again this week. Thank you for watching, liking, subscribing, all the ways that you show you love me, and I will see y'all next week.